Welcome everybody to the Whiskey Weigh-In. We are just two beards, 2 glasses of whiskey, and a whole lot of fun. So we're going to be opening up a new bottle today, something we've never tried. Actually, 2 of these. One of them is a can. Let me show you guys this.
Weird, right?
Yeah, I think this is not aged at all because when we looked at it earlier, we took a little sip ahead of the podcast. It came out clear. So
very clear. But this one's special, right? We've never tried this, but this is special, right?
Hemi Shine, yeah, let's try that first. So
Tell them why it's special.
Hold it up to the camera real quick. This is actually straight out of West Virginia, which is our home state. We live in Morgantown, West Virginia, if you guys didn't know that. Ow! Oh my gosh! Ow. Man, that freaking hurt. I was just trying to move myself back and just kick the table.
So this is a cinnamon whiskey, so I anticipate this being like Fireball, but then on the kind of the way it reads, it almost sounds like it's supposed to be like a moonshine almost. So I don't know. It's a weird smell, right?
Yeah, only 69 proof though, not too crazy.
It smells like wood.
Yeah.
It smells like wood.
Maybe it's the cinnamon, who knows?
I don't know, but it smells like wood.
Oh, dude, I think I messed up my toe. That hurt.
Pour a little more since you did a good bit too.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I kind of have a heavy pour, like a heavy foot on the pedal.
Well, do you have a cheers or anything before we do this?
I'm kind of distracted right now. Yeah, cheers to 51 subscribers.
Oh, come on, we need something better than that, right?
Cheers to DC losing next week.
No, we're gonna have. Do not miss next week's episode because it might come to blows on here. So let's just cheers to next week's episode because that's how good it's gonna be.
You can't miss it. Cheers to next week's episode. That tastes like a piece of wood. What is that?
I can say I've never tasted anything like this.
It tastes like I went into like a double wide and stripped off the wood paneling and just chewed on it for a while. Is that bad?
Well, I was going to tag him.
Yeah, let's probably not tag him after that comment. What do you think? Do you have a better description?
What did you say it was like?
It's like chewing on wood paneling. So
my description, to vary from his a little bit, it's like chewing on wood panel.
Yeah. It is, that might be the worst whiskey I've ever had. No offense. I mean, I know you bought it, but...
No. But this is why we do it.
Yeah. You picked a winner last week, though.
You're not going to hit it. You're not going to hit every week, you know?
That American Barrel was pretty good.
I don't think it's the worst whiskey I've had.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that.
What's worse? What's worse?
Maybe like that Old Crow or whatever it is.
Is it like a bum bottle or something? There's no way they want it to taste like this.
This is the first time on the Whiskey Weigh-In. So, this is like...
All natural ingredients. That's probably where they went wrong.
All natural ingredients? This is a...
I don't know, man.
I've had worse.
Okay. I don't think I have had worse.
Maybe you're supposed to shake it up.
Yeah, I just wanted to get rid of it.
So for the viewers out there, since we're doing this,
it's like a hint of cinnamon and then just...
It definitely has a hint of cinnamon.
Bleh.
And then it's wood. But it even smells like wood, though.
Yeah.
It's definitely weird, right?
It tastes like wood with that you're not allowed to burn.
So do you think that this was a bad bottle, or do you think that's how it actually is?
It looks sealed, like it's supposed to taste like that. I don't know what could be wrong with it. No way they have a bad batch on the shelves. Does that happen?
I think we'll have to do some research after this podcast and maybe talk about it next week. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good. How much was that?
25 to 30, somewhere in that range.
All right, hopefully you didn't pay more than 30 for it.
Even if I did it, I'm kind of glad this happened.
It's a learning experience either way, for
I
sure.
feel like every episode we've had a whiskey that we're like, oh, this is really good. We haven't had a bad whiskey yet. You know what I mean? So
Until today.
I mean, it had to happen. I mean, we can't like everything.
That's true, and no, I'm glad you got it. Honestly, we've only bought the name brands in the mainstream whiskeys on, if that's the way you want to phrase it. So kudos to you to being the brave person to try something new. Yeah. Last week it worked out great. This week,
worked out fantastic last week.
It's working out great this week too, because we can prevent you from buying this bottle.
So for the viewers, open this one up since you chugged that one.
Yeah.
Show them what this is like. Because we did. Right, we kind of cheated, off air there, and we tried this one just because the can, it looked too cool.
This is a apple crisp whiskey from Stillhouse, and it's actually clear, which I think it means that it hasn't been aged.
I poured it.
So it kind of looks like
I didn't know that it was clear. Like when I bought it, I poured it and I was like, what in the world is this?
Where is this out of?
I don't know.
It doesn't even say. It just says USA.
USA.
Interesting. I mean, it's definitely the first whiskey I've ever had out of a can.
It's like motor oil.
Yeah. I mean, it looks sweet. I like it.
Cool.
I love the bottle.
I would say the bottle is like a 10 out of 10. What's it smell like?
It smells like a apple cinnamon toast strudel.
Cinnamon maybe being from this one.
This is apple, right?
Yeah.
Apple crisp. There you go.
Yeah.
Apple crisp.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you get very strong sense of the apple. If anything, yeah, it smells good.
What do you think?
So it smells really strong, and it smells like something that you wouldn't want to drink, like something that my wife would use to take polish off of her nails. But it's actually really smooth, and it's pretty sweet. Like, this is something that I'd kind of want to put some ice and Sprite in and just kind of have a sweet...
freezer, but not too long, because I came here and I had kept both of these bottles out. And as soon as I got here, we put them in the freezer, and I don't know, it's probably been about an hour.
Yeah.
So these two bottles have been in the freezer about an hour.
Yeah, so in my opinion, this is something you might not want to get to drink straight unless you're into like really sweet whiskeys, but it would be very good with like as a chaser for some Sprite and some ice, something to just kind of kick back. The alcohol percentage isn't too high. You can probably have a few of these with some Sprite and ice, and it would be really good.
You want me to tell you one of my favorite things to do with an apple whiskey like that?
Yeah.
So now this isn't for the people that can't really handle their drinks. So that's just a fair warning.
Yeah.
So what you do, you get like a red Solo cup.
Uh-oh.
And this is like the best thing you can do it with is the Apple Crown. You could probably try it with this. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
You go about half of that cup, maybe a little bit below half cup, whatever you're feeling, of the apple whiskey. Mm-hmm. And then the other half of that Solo cup is Angry Orchard.
Really?
And let me tell you, when I tell you to drink one and stop, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
What percentage is Angry Orchard? Similar to a beer, right? Or is it a little more?
It's probably
more than 5?
It's probably right around. It's probably 5 to 5.8, somewhere in that.
So that coupled with Crown, I mean, that's kind of a strong drink, yeah.
I gave this to one of my boys. I told him, I said, drink one. This is rated. This is my New Jersey hookup of the Crown Peach. I told him, I said, drink one. And he told me the next day he ended up drinking 2, maybe 3, I don't remember. And he's like, don't really remember too much after that. And I tried to tell him, I said 1.
Yep, crossed the line, man.
It's really good, though. And I know people out there like, Angry Orchard, that's a cheerleader drink. Well, yes, I agree. I don't drink Angry Orchard. But if you pair it with something like a Crown or an apple, another apple whiskey,
yeah,
it's okay.
Right.
It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, these sweeter whiskeys too are I think dangerous because they just taste so good and they're so smooth that it's easy to drink too much. That's why I feel safer with like the Bullets and the Makers and the Woodfords and stuff like that, because I only really want a little bit, and my object is to kind of taste. It's not to just get I'm not trying to get drunk or anything like that. I just like whiskey and want to taste it.
And see, I will agree and disagree at the same time, because I agree with that. If you're just drinking these straight, for the most part, you're not going to drink enough. I mean, just your casual drinker to really just, do too much.
Right.
But if you start mixing it with like a Coke or like a Dr. Pepper,
yeah,
it can get dangerous then.
Because you're just drinking it like a soft drink with a little bit of a kick.
Yeah. And that can get Crown Royal is pissing me off because they had this delicious bourbon, and I bought it one time. It said Crown Royal. It was called Bourbon Mash. Delicious. I got it one time, and then our liquor store doesn't have it anymore. They haven't had it since then.
ALO?
Yeah.
Huh.
And
I haven't seen it anywhere else either.
I even asked the people there. They're like, "No, we haven't had that." And I'm like, "Man, I'm glad I got it that one time, but I miss it."
Yeah.
I miss it, and it was really good. But more to the story here, I was drinking it with Dr. Pepper because it was going down really good. Knocked me on my arse because I drank a bit of it, and it's a little bit more potent than.
Got to be careful, man. Got to be careful. So, coming from the whiskey way in, drink responsibly. We mean that.
We could probably start saying that.
Sincerely. Yeah, we really do mean that. We're not. We're definitely not trying to promote drunkenness by any means. By any means. We're all about the taste and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's good.
Yeah, good. So, as we close out on the whiskey segment, I think the obvious winner here, if we were to compare, would be this guy.
Well, I'll have to get another taste of it, but I mean, if you really like wood or the way wood smells, I highly recommend this.
Yeah. If you grew up with like a wood stove, or if there's anything like sentimental about chewing on wood when you're a kid, this would be great. This is really good. Yeah. If you like playing fetch with sticks and stuff like that, it might be pretty good option.
That's a tough one. I mean, it is. I mean, it could be. I think it could be really good though.
Yeah.
It could be, but it's just. It's like it's smoked.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I mean, I don't even know how they made it taste that bad. But if you take like a stick of...
I'm starting to really get the cinnamon taste though, like just sitting in my mouth.
Really?
Like,
because my initial taste was cinnamon. It kind of like was a stick of big red gum. But then the aftertaste and what set in my mouth was this like weird processed wood that just felt contaminated.
Well, so this is the so I kind of like this because this is the difference of someone that chugged it versus someone that's sipping it.
No, that's a good point.
I tell you what, like my mouth is almost like it's almost burning, not like it's not smooth like burn, but like a very cinnamon. It's a cinnamon burn. I don't know. It's starting to grow on me a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right. That's a good point. I definitely chugged through it. Sorry, I was reading text while you were talking right there. I was still paying attention. Yeah, I still think it's really bad, actually. So as Shay tries to justify his $25 to $30, I'll let you know, please do not buy this. This tastes like crap.
You know what? You can come over here and we'll just give it to you for free.
If you want the rest of it, I swear to you, it will not be on this podcast again unless he's the only one drinking it.
Okay.
But we will have more of those bottles in the future as a favor to you. All right, so we got some fights coming up this weekend. It's actually going to be a free fight night on Saturday night as long as you have cable. And ESPN Plus?
I think so.
They're doing ESPN Plus fight nights now?
Mm-hmm. They just started.
Crooks.
Freaking
crooks.
Yeah, they just started.
All right, so you got to pay $5 a month to be able to watch this fight if it's on ESPN Plus. But the main card is actually awesome.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis is going to be fighting Alexei Olenek, and it's a heavyweight fight. Two exciting fighters. Derek Brunson is kind of like the big, broad... Derek Brunson. Derek Lewis. I knew I was going to say that.
Well, you know what? We could go into that. He had a big win over this past weekend.
We're going to talk about Brunson now?
No. I'm just saying. Brunson had a very big win. He was a pretty solid underdog. and he won in the third round. Great job, Brunson. I'm proud of you. You're a veteran. I love it. Good job, Brunson. Keep going on with what you're going now.
Okay, but not to confuse the audience, Derek Lewis is who we're talking about now. The guy who said, "Oh, my balls is hot," after he took the shorts off in the Joe Rogan interview.
Yeah, everybody knows who Derek Lewis is. Even if you don't know him, you know, like, about him.
You've seen the clip go
the clip.
viral. Yeah. I was actually just talking to a neighbor about that. And after I explained it, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I did see that."
Yeah.
Doesn't even follow the UFC. Anyways, heavyweight fighter. He very exciting fighter to watch if he's not too scared to strike. And we were just talking about that whenever he went against Ngannou.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's an exciting guy to watch.
99% of the time,
if he's not scared, you'll probably see a knockout. But Alexei Olenek is no joke either. A veteran and known for his submissions. He beat Fabrizio Verdum, who we recently saw have a crazy submission. And so this is going to be a really good fight. I'm really excited about it. And I have no idea who to pick.
It scares me for Derek Lewis because I'm a big Lewis fan. I mean, how can you not be a fan of this guy? You just want to see him win to see what he's going to say in the post-fight interview.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, literally, you want to see that.
And follow his Instagram, too. He's just a funny guy. He's hilarious.
He definitely has the best Instagram in the UFC.
Yeah, and what's great is he's not just trying to be a media guy, kind of like Ben Askren, but he's... No offense. But he's just being himself, and he's hilarious.
Ben's being himself, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Derek Lewis, he's just funny. He's just funny. It's like if you would take World Star Hip-Hop and put it into the UFC, like, that's Derek Lewis. Like, he's just funny.
Yeah.
He's just funny. And like I said, I want to see Derek Lewis win, but...
You don't want to?
I'm saying I don't know if he will.
Yeah, I mean, Olenek is just such a great fighter, and I think if it goes to the ground, Derek loses. That's my conclusion.
Yeah, that's the easy
bet, right? Yeah, I mean, Derek probably dominant on his feet, where Olenek is no joke there either. But I think Derek struggles a lot more on the ground against Olenek. So... And Olenek is on a bit more of a win streak. I mean, a couple fights back, Derek lost to Junior Dos Santos. I think it was a TKO. I can't really remember. But whatever it was, he got beat pretty bad. And so Derek is trying to kind of fight back. He's won, I think, 1 or 2 fights since then and climb his way back up the ladder, which honestly, as a fan, I really do want to see him climb back up the ladder. I think that he has a lot to offer with the heavyweight division.
He does. And I mean, I think that he's a really good fighter. He's just entertaining, too. You want to see this guy succeed because it means a lot for the UFC.
Right, exactly.
If he succeeds. If Derek Lewis wins, it's going to be early to mid first round, or... Man, this is a fight. Is this 5-round fight? I mean, I know it's the
main card. I mean,
it's the main event, but I know they were talking about doing 3 rounds. I don't... Either way, if he went... It's got to be by knockout. Mm-hmm. It's got to be early. Mm-hmm.
Come on, Shay, you're the expert.
I'm no expert. Just a casual whiskey drinker.
I'm casual. You're expert.
No. Just a casual whiskey drinker with a big love for the UFC.
What are the odds? Do you know the odds?
It's almost even.
Oh, really?
But I think Lewis is the favorite. I think it's like minus 118 Lewis. So, like, for people that don't really know what that means, like, the absolute closest you can get to even is like minus 110. So I mean, like it's basically like a pick'em.
So what you're saying is nobody really knows.
Yeah, this is a toss up, and like you said, it's a
great fight.
If it stays on the feet, I think Lewis can win. Obviously, it's a way better chance he can win. You know what? Just for the sake of how much I really do like Derek Lewis, I'm gonna pick him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick him.
Yeah,
and this is not like. Don't go bet your house on this one because I'm not comfortable on either side of this one. I'm not comfortable on either side. Yeah. I personally would not. I wouldn't take this fight.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, I think you're an idiot, and I think Olenek's going to submit him in the first round. And I think that you can bet all your money. Go ahead and just put your house up for it, because Olenek is easily. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're just kidding. I was like, man, he is. is.
No, obviously this is going to be a close fight. I am really scared to see Derek get submitted or taken to the ground. I hope it stays standing up because, man, those are the most exciting fights with Derek Lewis. I picked Derek Lewis because I like him. Can it go
You're
either
picking
way?
Lewis?
Yes,
Okay.
but I'm a fan of his, and so that's the reason why I'm biased.
I have to stay with him. I have to stay with him.
But
And that's
Alexei
not how-
Olenek is a fantastic veteran.
Yeah.
Great ground game. I mean, he beat Verdum in the last one of his last 3 fights, and you just saw what Verdum did to Gustafsson. So he's definitely a talented guy. He has over like 60-some professional fights. He's a very impressional. Yeah, this guy
70.
is no joke. So I know this is just a fight night. It's not a pay-per-view, but you guys really should tune in because these are some serious guys to watch.
And if you just want to see a funny post-fight interview, you know, Derek Lewis is probably going to give it to you.
The best, like
Yeah.
the best in the business for sure. So we're both going for Lewis, and we're gonna vote there.
Yeah.
And Chris Weidman and what's the dude's name?
You got it.
Amari Akhmedov. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hey, we do sincerely apologize for mispronunciation if we do it, but they mispronounce things on ESPN, and we only have 51 subscribers. So give us a break. You know what I mean? But Chris Weidman. I mean, we watched a video earlier where a bunch of UFC fighters predicted who was going to win,
Everybody picked him.
and
I don't think anyone picked against him.
that's true. I think I didn't see anybody pick against Weidman, and I think it's partially because Weidman is
He's a bigger name.
he's a bigger name.
Yeah.
He has a giant reputation. He's American. He's more familiar. You know, there's that. But I mean, I see Chris Weidman, and I don't even know much about him, but I've heard his name a million times.
I would just like to stop you. This is getting tougher and tougher to drink.
Yeah, that's why you got to chug it. You got to chug it right away.
Okay, so back to Weidman.
Can we just like break this glass on the sink in there and just throw it away? We could film it. I'm just kidding.
I didn't know if he was serious, so I was about to say, well.
Yeah, it might damage the sink, but
Weidman's a great fighter. You want to see him kind of get back to his championship form, and he hasn't really been able to. He's
can I stop you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's a really good point, and that's something that came up over and over and over again as we watched a video earlier where these UFC fighters are being interviewed. Everyone kept saying, well, if it was the old Weidman.
They were kind of like,
Yeah.
which Weidman are you getting? Are you getting tentative Weidman, or are you getting,
Yeah.
ready to go Weidman?
So how has he changed over time? Not as aggressive?
He's like more tentative. And I think, that can happen to a fighter because
You're thinking about longevity in your life after fighting.
Your boy beat him. Luke Rockhold. And that kind of like spiraled him.
Why is Luke Rockhold my boy? All I know about him is he's a good-looking guy. He did some modeling, and he got beat by
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz, who is a beast. And he better get a good fight coming up.
Yeah, I feel like Weidman's kind of went downhill since then. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I believe. But I want to see Weidman get back on track here. I think this is a good one.
This is light heavyweight? Or middleweight?
185, yeah.
Okay, all right. Because Jan is light heavyweight now. That's why I got confused for a
because
second.
Luke moved up.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he got knocked out.
So just for the sake, I'm kind of like an old school Weidman fan. I mean, Weidman's he's a veteran, So give me Weidman on this. I'm going with the rest of the cliche pick here, but I want to see Weidman do good.
Yeah. I'm going to go against Weidman only because you're going for Weidman, and I have no idea.
I think that personally, though, I don't think it's a bad pick to go against Weidman, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad pick to go against Weidman.
I mean, he is a seasoned veteran. Do you think he's going to be swayed by everybody being behind him? Probably not.
Fighters probably don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, where are these guys in the rankings nowadays? I mean, middleweight. Who's the top of middleweight?
So, in middleweight, you have Izzy, champion.
Oh.
Costa, who's fighting him. Yoel,
Beast. Yeah.
Jacare. I mean,
Yeah.
that
strong division.
It's a strong division for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, that division, there's no slouches in that division by any means.
Yeah. So whoever wins, probably not as bright of a future for them. I mean, it's
Call it what it is, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Amari, if he beats Weidman, maybe. He's a younger guy, right?
I don't want to take anything away from Weidman because he has that championship pedigree.
That's
I'm
true.
not taking anything away from him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'm not taking anything away from him.
that's true. Good point.
I'm not going to do it. So what do you want to get into now? This is going to be, I'm going to be trying this one for y'all on the camera.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get your feedback on it. I just have some Makers, which we covered last week.
Makers is still delicious. I drank some Makers before we did the tape. Still delicious. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Actually,
Oh, you know what?
when we were at the...
I don't know what I even poured. I think I poured Bullet.
Well, anyway, let me get this story real quick. They had the Makers there. They had a special on like a limited Makers at ALO, and I was going to get it.
But you got this?
Dude, come on. You have to respect it.
Hey, just so you guys know, we're looking for co-hosts to put in applications. Let me know.
I think you should go there and get it. It was a limited time.
Oh, I'll go get it. While you buy stuff like this.
You have to respect it, right?
He goes earlier, yeah, I think I'm done buying whiskeys for a while. Thank God.
Come on, I've introduced you to some good ones.
You have, yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
This is the first bad one we've had. But
True.
like I said, it's a good thing we have a bad one. You can't just have all good whiskeys. They can't do that.
I mean, that's why people watch, is to watch us drink bad whiskeys that they won't buy.
So maybe there was somebody out there thinking, I would like to try that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just, no thank you.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
If you thought that, leave it in the comments.
Makers had a new one, and I was going to get it. I didn't, because I wanted to go with these two instead of just getting...
I would like to know what that is, yeah.
But, and then I saw Makers, Devin asked me, she's like, oh, why don't you get this Makers? It was a little bit more expensive, and it was like one of those single barrel ones, and I was like, those are a little bit harsh.
Yeah, you're probably dropping 60 plus on those.
I was like, I wasn't even worried about the price. It was just more of like, it's a little bit harsh, it's the single barrel's a little bit more.
Oh, true, yeah, kind of like the Knob Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like,
You end up tasting more alcohol and burn than anything.
As I was really looking at all the whiskeys, what our next like whiskey tasting I want it to be is like the rye ones. I don't really think
we brought that up last time.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a rye whiskey. Like,
really?
I don't think so.
I've had the Woodford rye. I've had a couple different ryes.
I've just had regular Woodford.
Really?
And then like a bunch of the Crown makes a rye.
Okay.
Which is the one I want to do that one.
If we can do it next week or maybe the week after, depending on what we do.
Because we know what next week is. That's the big episode.
Well, we can't have ryes on the big episode?
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe 2 weeks from now or something like that. I'll get 2 bottles of the ryes, and because you've bought the last like 4 bottles, we'll do.
I'm gonna say we don't necessarily have to do it soon, but I want to do it. I want to do the rye. I want to do that.
No, yeah, you got to figure out what you like. I mean, the ryes are pretty good. I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll like them. But anyways, the next topic we wanted to cover, and you can actually find the full 30-minute video on JorgeMasvidal.com. But we're going to cover weight cutting in the UFC, this is no new topic for MMA entertainment.
Before, kind of.
We've talked a little bit about it, but recently it's been really cool because some fighters are covering their own vlogs in media, and Jorge Masvidal is one of them. He has his own YouTube channel. He actually puts full episodes on his own website.
Hold on, time out. Can I just... Jorge Masvidal, smart. Like we talked about a few episodes ago, is UFC a career or opportunity? Opportunity. And what's Jorge Masvidal doing?
Turning it into...
the best of that opportunity.
By turning it into a career. Yes, I agree.
Smart.
I think so fully, and it took him a little bit to get his act together in the UFC, but now you're seeing a Jorge at 100%, even taking a championship fight on 6 days' notice. I mean, that's ridiculous.
He's a genius.
He's great.
A genius.
He's still great, and I love to see that guy, and I'm so glad he had that flying knee against Ben Askren.
Tell him about the video we watched, man. Tell him about the video.
So if you check out, I know a lot of you are new subscribers. Actually, more than half of you are new subscribers. And so we actually have an earlier video where we do predictions for Ben Askren.
Can we stop hating on Ben Askren this episode, and can we just tell him what we just watched?
So we just watched a video and like I was saying before the video stopped, we had an earlier episode where we did predictions for the Jorge Masvidal versus Askren fight, and we had a little live clip to watch Shay's reaction, who thought Askren was going to win, and it was pretty hilarious. So go back and watch through those episodes. Look at the timestamps if you want to find it. I don't know the exact one. Anyways, Jorge Masvidal has turned into quite the fighter and quite the media figure. He's kind of the icon for UFC right now. Probably the most
he's the biggest star.
famous fighter right now, actually. Yeah.
He has to be like let's take Conor out of the equation, because obviously
even with Conor in the equation,
stop. Don't be disrespectful.
He's huge, man. Well, Khabib as well. Khabib is giant. If you talk about international,
it's international.
Yes.
Yeah, international. Khabib is definitely bigger than Masvidal.
But Masvidal, as the active fighter, the most active fighter, biggest name right now, I would say.
Khabib also has a fight coming up, so we can't necessarily say that. And
True.
Conor fought this year too, in 2020.
Either way, Masvidal is killing it.
Yes.
And
yes.
He recently put out a video on his channel on YouTube. It's like a little over 11 minutes, and he does a weight cut. And it's a fight on 6 days' notice, and he's trying to get down to 170. And it shows him 3 hours before the fight, he's 174, and he's trying to get down to 170. And just the brutality, like just the sheer will that he has to go through and get COVID testing during it. Like, he's a badass, yes. But it's just a miserable process to watch somebody have to sweat it out, be covered in towels, to get into
said while watching it.
Bathtub water that's 112 degrees. If it's any hotter, then it can burn your body.
Yep.
It's seriously disgusting to have to watch that. Now, do a lot of people take fights on such short notice? No. But do guys have to cut weight all the time? Yes. And it's terrible for them. And we have to reiterate over and over and over again, let there be a weight class every 10 pounds. But what I said earlier was just watching that video, I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt like I was getting sick just seeing that guy not being able to stand up on his own.
Obviously, he had to be picked up every time. And then as he was getting, because they had him in like a hot shower.
The day before the fight against a freaking monster.
The Nigerian nightmare. And
literally a monster.
He's getting out of the shower, and like you can tell he's like, and like they're like, whoa. You know, it's wild seeing that.
Why would you have the most elite, best fighters in the world be put in a position where they can't stand up on their own before fighting against one of the best
24 hours before
opponents in the world? Why would you want that? That's not good for anybody, and you can make a change.
And I will say, in Masvidal's defense, I mean, it's not like he's like that every weight cut, because
No, he's not. Right.
Because, you know, it's not a 6-day notice type thing. He probably wasn't in the greatest shape. But, like you said, you know, there's other fighters that actually do what Masvidal was doing.
That switch weight classes. That need 6 months to even still be miserable.
Yeah, exactly. That, you know, they do that long training camp, and then it's just like that last week or two is just hell.
It's not
hell for them.
Not just about being down to the weight that they need to be at. It's about being at optimal health to fight at your physical peak.
Perfect example.
Against these people.
Perfect example, Khabib. Khabib, when he's weight cut in years past, they've had to cancel multiple fights for Khabib because he couldn't make 155, and he's had to been taken to the hospital multiple times.
That should never have to happen.
It shouldn't.
For somebody to fight their whole life to make it to this level, that should not have to be something they worry about.
Is that the UFC's fault, or is that the fighter's fault for wanting that big of an advantage?
I think it's a bad system. I think it's a bad system.
So you blame that on the UFC for the fighters themselves wanting that big of an advantage?
I think regardless...
It comes down to the fight. The UFC is not making them do that.
Yeah.
Let's get that.
That's true, Dana White, but... The reality is that if there were weight classes every 10 pounds, that these things would be much less miserable.
I agree.
Yeah.
You need 155. So in case any of y'all are kind of don't really watch UFC, it goes 155 to 170 to 185 to 205. So I think that
So
you could
15 to 20 pounds of difference.
I think you could go 55. I think 65 is optimal. And then you could go 75. Then it gets a little dicey because then are you creating another weight class at 95 so that you have 85, 95, 205? Do you create two weight classes because you'd have to create the 65?
I think so right now, 185 to 205, 20 pounds difference.
That's a big difference.
I think strip that to 15 difference. Everywhere else, 10-pound increments. Once you get to 225 plus is heavyweight. Maybe even add in a super
25.
heavyweight. 225 is plus is heavyweight, right?
205.
205 is light heavyweight.
Yeah, but so 206 is heavyweight.
Oh, right.
Well,
225 plus would be super heavyweight then, if that were a thing.
If you did it like that. Man.
205 plus is heavyweight?
Well, 206.
You know how much I would have to cut to even consider light heavyweight? I mean, I'm not a professional fighter or an athlete, but that's ridiculous. That's small.
Yeah.
We need bigger guys in there. Brock Lesnar was like 280.
The max for heavyweight is 65, 265.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that we have heavyweights cutting down to make heavyweight.
There's not too many of those.
What's the argument for that, though? You know that there's a lot of those guys out there. 265 is not that big.
I think Francis is one of them. I think Francis fights at 264, maybe. There's one of the big names that fights at 264, and somebody will have to probably correct me on that. But I think Francis might be it.
They should do a super heavyweight division. I mean, people want to see heavyweights anyway, even if they're not big name heavyweights.
We could probably do a whole podcast on that.
Yeah, well, right now we're just doing a segment.
But I like it. But I don't want to get into it because I feel like this could be long. Because I have a lot to say on that. Because I agree there needs to be a 65 division. There needs to be a 165 division. And then you move 70 to 75. I 100% think that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some really smart people out there that are involved very deep in the business, like Joe Rogan, who completely agree with us, and his opinions have actually swayed ours, and maybe even, we're just adopting his opinions as well.
I think that's just
it is.
I think that's a smart thing to do. It adds
common sense as well. Yeah.
It adds another belt. Like, who doesn't want another belt?
Yeah.
You know
right.
What I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah. But they'll add the BMF belt though, but not another weight class.
That's true, and that's what I'm saying. Like, come on. Like, just do that, and that adds way more excitement.
Right.
And for Dana, that can add like another like double champ situation.
Right.
So if you get a double champ, then give me that. Give me that situation. Did we have anything else we wanted to talk about tonight, or what was going on?
Yeah, we have one more thing. Sorry, I have to message. This is actually kind of important.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know, man. It's a very disappointing thing. Well, Shay, actually, within the last week, I've become a very important guy. No, to be honest, I'm trying to send this other camera so I can get a better lens for the podcast. Yeah. So sorry if I screamed into the mic right there, but I really want this Sigma 17 to 55 millimeter, 70 to 50 millimeter lens. Anyways, that's not what this podcast is about. We have one more thing to cover, and we've already kind of like getting close on time, but we were talking earlier about the fat guy. What's his name? Oh yeah, Daniel Cormier. No, we're not. But his comments on Ariel Helwani's show, which that's what it is Ariel Helwani's show. He's just a guest now. And he had some comments about Khabib and how there's no one from 155 to 185 that could beat him, which is absolutely insane to say that because the very next weight class up, Kamaru Usman could smash that guy.
Yeah, because like he was, I guess like this could have been a misquote for me because he was saying like nobody could keep it standing with Khabib. So like to me that means you're going to win, right?
Standing?
Like keep it standing. Like Khabib's going to take them down.
Okay.
So if Khabib's going to take him down, he's going to win, right?
Maybe.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like he basically,
not if he's smaller and not as strong.
But like DC said, no one would be able to stay standing with Khabib because he was going to be able to take them down type deal.
Yeah, he's most likely wrong, probably.
So with Khabib, this has always been my thing is I want to see Khabib go to 170. and I've been one of the biggest people to say this. Is like I've been saying go to 170.
You're the biggest person to ever say that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I want him to go to 170.
Yeah.
And especially if he wins this fight, there's really nothing left for him at 155. Yes, you can do the Tony fight. No, Tony doesn't have much momentum after losing to Gaethje. Yes, it's a completely different fight for Khabib with Tony. I get it. And that's like the number one fight that's never happened in the UFC. So make it happen, but it's cursed, so it's not going to happen. So go to 170. I'm tired of hearing this GSP talk of Khabib. Yeah. I don't want to see an old
I don't
GSP.
see that happening.
I do. It's what is so sad about it. I see it happening, and I don't want it to happen. Number one, you have GSP cutting to 155, which he's never done, and he's super old. So I don't know if
which I think he was best at 170.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
So like when you're older, it's harder to cut weight. In case y'all didn't know that, it's extremely hard on your body. Like you're not supposed to do that. Like when people get old in UFC, like they kind of stick with almost what they walk around at, unless it's like a 10-pound difference, then they can kind of cut it. But like GSP cutting the 155 would be not good, in my opinion. It is what it is. I'd rather see Khabib move up to 170, and I want to see him and Usman fight. And then you know what? If he beats Usman, there you go. I mean, like that's amazing. He's a double champ, and you know if DC is right about him being able to beat everybody at 185. Move up to 185, become the first triple champ.
Yeah, if he wants to be in the conversation of someone like GSP, that he would have to do that. And you know what?
You need to be a double champ at this point if you want to be considered GOAT. To me, like as many people there's not a whole lot of people, but the people that has done it. I mean, it's not like it's just one person that's done double champ. You have Conor, you have Amanda Nunes, GOAT, and you have DC that's done it. You have Henry Cejudo who did it.
Doesn't count.
Huh?
Cejudo doesn't count.
Why?
He's small.
Shut up. So, I mean, you had all those people do it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as Khabib, that has to be in your head. I mean, it has to be in your head. My opinion.
I totally agree. If he moved up to 170 and beat Usman,
super impressive.
Best ever.
I
mean,
I agree.
That is amazing.
I agree.
And DC, definitely not in the conversation. Too many losses against John Jones.
I'm not going to argue this. We'll wait till next week.
Yes. We'll see next week when we talk about the Doughboy against the Firefighter. Right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I think that it is absolutely absurd to say that, but it makes sense coming from DC, who fights in the same camp and just sees how, honestly, he's an incredible fighter. He really is. At lightweight, he is as good as it gets.
He rolls.
That's true.
He rolls with DC, and he rolls with Luke Rockhold, people that are just way bigger than him.
Right.
I mean, so if he's taking them down and doing stuff too, I mean, you can't really argue what DC's saying. Other than that, I don't have anything. You wanna get us out of here, or what? What do you want to do here? Come on, man. I'm gonna have to take your phone.
This is for the podcast, bro.
It's not for the podcast.
All right. Hey, we're going to end here. But like I said before, and like we say every week, we love to hear from you guys. Jack Danielson, you have a special place in our heart, especially after Shay told me a little bit more about who you are. And hey, thanks for watching the Whiskey Weigh-In. Please like, subscribe, and share. And hey, to you guys out there who always give feedback and comments on the podcast, I truly do appreciate it. But one thing that I would like to say to you is you help us the most by, first of all, enjoying the content and letting us know you enjoyed it, but share it with your friends. Help this thing grow. Help us become better. And as a part of that whole process of us improving content, it's kind of gauged on how many people are watching. And so we put more effort in as we get better, and vice versa. Obviously, we need to get better to get more viewers. But we really enjoy it, and we love to interact with you all. So please get back to us and take care.